I don't have hours to spend meal prepping, but I still want to eat at home so I can save money and eat healthier. So instead of trying to find a few hours to meal prep all at once, I've started fitting meal prep into my normal routine. And this week, I'm showing you my exact process, along with easy tips for staying consistent with cooking at home. This week started with sourdough. I used to be intimidated by the idea of making my own bread, but sourdough is actually one of the most work schedule friendly methods of making bread that I've ever found. So I break down the entire process into smaller, easier steps, which helps me get it all done within a single day. I have my dough prepared, and normally with sourdough, you want to let the dough ferment for a few hours, and during that time that it's fermenting, you do something called stretch and folds. So I'm going to be doing that as I work on some other stuff, which brings me to my next tip, which is to stack different tasks together. This is especially true for cleaning, which used to overwhelm me in the past. I actually recently challenged myself to clean the kitchen every single night before bed, and I'm happy to say I've stuck with that habit since then. Okay, so my dishes are clean. I did leave this one just because it does need to soak for a little bit, but I already put everything away and I have all my dishes washed, and that alone only took me 6 minutes to do. So with all that taken care of, let's now move on to meal planning. I go through my cabinets and fridge to see what I have and what needs to be used up. Before I got into the habit of regularly cooking at home, I'd always struggle with figuring out what to make with the ingredients I had at home. This would cause me to end up letting things expire or go bad before I even had a chance to cook anything with them. This became a huge problem when I quit my job last year and decided to start my own business. Money tightened up more than ever before, and neither takeout nor food waste was an option. So the most effective way of fixing this problem was to make foods I actually enjoy and I'm guaranteed to finish, which is why a lot of the meals I eat are inspired by restaurant foods I already love. Now that I've looked through everything in my cabinets and my fridge and come up with a couple of meal ideas, I'm going to now make my grocery list. And this is the most commonly known tips when it comes to saving money on groceries and meal planning, is having a list before you go to the store. It's the next morning, which brings me to my second tip. Be flexible when you can't fit everything into one day. Yesterday, I planned to go grocery shopping, but by the time I finished everything on my list, it was already almost 5 p.m., so I decided to wait until the next day. In the past, I probably would have just given up on it altogether, but this time I reminded myself that I didn't have to do everything in one day. I could just try again tomorrow. So here is the second loaf. It also turned out really well. I still need to go grocery shopping. Yesterday I looked through my cabinets and my fridge and came up with a couple of meal ideas based on what I have. This is another friction point. So I know I'm gonna be hungry pretty soon, and I'm trying to fight it and just convince myself that I'm not gonna get hungry and just go to the grocery store anyway. But the problem with that is I know that the minute I go to the grocery store, I'm going to be ravenously hungry, and that'll cause me to buy way more food than I need. In order to avoid that, I'm going to quickly put together a lunch before I go. And yesterday I found a couple of cans of chickpeas, and the whole reason I made this bread was to make chickpea salad. And the best thing about this recipe is that this is almost entirely pantry ingredients. This meal is going to be extra special because I have this adorable looking cucumber from the garden, and I will be using it in my chickpea salad sandwich. So let's make this quick lunch and then we'll head out to the grocery store. Eating before grocery shopping has done more for me than just help me spend less. I've noticed that having food ready at home makes grocery shopping feel much less stressful. Even if I come home tired and don't feel like cooking, I already have something I can eat. It also makes me feel like I've already made some progress, and I'm not coming home with a bag of groceries and a whole week to figure out. And because of that, I actually enjoy grocery shopping a lot more. Let's do a taste test of this homegrown cucumber. Really good. I was a little worried it wasn't going to taste good just because it is kind of big, but this is the cross section. I'm pretty used to having English cucumbers, which have a very thin, almost non-existent skin. This variety of cucumber does have a fairly thick skin, so that's the only thing, but this is great. Learning how to make pantry ingredient meals has also been a total game changer for me because I can quickly put together a meal even if I'm low on fresh produce or groceries. And practicing making meals like this also helps me depend less on takeout because I can usually make these meals faster than I can even order takeout. This is seriously so delicious. And this is my favorite summer lunch for many reasons. A, it has a lot of protein, fiber, and it's really filling. And B, it's fresh and simple, and you can eat it cold. I'm gonna keep dinner really simple tonight. It's just going to be some pesto pasta. Since dinner is going to be simple tonight, I'm also going to go ahead and prep some of the ingredients for the next few days worth of lunch. As you know, I already prepped the chickpea salad earlier, and I think that should last us a couple more days. But while I have the motivation and the energy, I'm just gonna go ahead and prep that third meal option too. And this is the most effective way for me to meal prep for several reasons. First, I'm much more likely to eat at home the following day because I've already started the prep work for the meal, and there's no decision fatigue around what to have for lunch. Second, I work with the time I have and only do the things that I actually have time for, instead of trying to carve out hours in my day to get everything done. So instead of feeling guilty that I didn't prep all of the groceries I bought, I can instead focus on the progress I've made and plan on finishing up the following day. Tonight I'm making a Mediterranean-style veggie bowl inspired by one I had at CAVA. There is something to learn from restaurants, which is that they know which flavors work well together, and especially how to make vegetables taste good. On the occasion that I do go out to eat, I'm always paying attention to the flavor combinations and what I like about the foods. This helps me recreate those same meals at home, or at least as close as possible. I've been working now for about 4 hours and I'm starting to get pretty hungry. And since I already prepped the veggies yesterday, those are ready to go. And this morning I shredded up some tofu and added the same seasonings that I had added to the veggies. So I'm going to go ahead and bake this off so that this can be my protein source for the meal. And this smells so good. It smells exactly like falafel seasoning, which is what I was going for with the tofu. I'm so excited to bake this up. And while the tofu is baking, I'm going to prep the final component of this bowl, which is going to be a lemon tahini sauce. Another reason I like these veggie and grain bowls is that I can prep all the components directly in the containers that I use to store them. So I've got the tofu out of the oven. I really only baked it for 10 minutes, but you can see it's super crispy and golden brown all over, which is perfect. I prepped the cucumber tomato salad and my lemon tahini sauce. I also washed my arugula. Just with everything that's going on right now with greens and lettuce and stuff, I made sure to wash this a couple times. Now it's just time to assemble the bowl. Okay, so I spoke a little too soon. I did forget to prep one thing for this bowl that I don't think I have time to make right now, which perfectly brings me to my next point. So I found this pre-made rice in the freezer. Here's some of the tofu. Oh my gosh. This meal has just made my day. Wow. Yeah. Make this. I'm gonna enjoy this, but before I do that, I wanted to share something exciting with you. So first of all, thank you so much to every single one of you who watches my videos and leaves a thoughtful comment. There are a few of you who are always commenting the sweetest things on my videos, and it means the world to me. It really does. And I've really been working hard to improve my videos and make more of them so that I can connect with you guys. But I feel like I want to be able to connect with you guys on a deeper level. So I've decided to launch a newsletter. I couldn't resist having another bite, so I'll just do a voiceover. But my newsletter will have behind the scenes content. Maybe I'll even share some of my favorite recipes. But most of all, it'll be a way for me to connect with you guys in between my video uploads. So if this sounds interesting to you, I'm gonna leave a link in the description below so you can sign up, and I look forward to seeing you there. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.